You know the feeling. That moment when your chest tightens at the thought of them. When the silence between you hums with unspoken words. When the universe seems to dangle their memory just close enough to taste, but too far to hold. You've called it pain. You've called it longing. But what if it's something far more mysterious? What if this, right here, right now, is the alchemy that transforms love from something you chase into something you become? This isn't just another article about twin flames. This is a map to the hidden terrain of your own soul, where every tear has been a baptism and every unanswered prayer a doorway. You've been taught that surrender means giving up, that detachment means indifference, that love requires presence to be real. But the truth, the most profound unions are forged in absence. The most unshakable connections are those that exist beyond the visible. If you're reading this, it's because part of you already knows. That flutter in your stomach when their name appears unexpectedly. That dream where they spoke without words. That inexplicable peace that washes over you when you stop resisting and simply allow. These aren't accidents, they're signposts, so proof that what you're navigating isn't a breakup, but a breakthrough, a cosmic recalibration of what love actually means. So, relax, let your shoulders drop. The answers you've been seeking aren't ahead of you. They're within you, waiting to be uncovered like ancient scrolls hidden in your own bones. This journey isn't about changing your twin flame. It's about discovering the part of you that never needed to be changed at all. Ready? Let's begin. If you're here reading this, it's because something in you is tired. Not of love, not of the journey, but of the weight you've been carrying. The endless mental loops, the desperate need to understand, the ache of separation that feels like a phantom limb. And yet, beneath all that, there's a quiet whisper, a knowing. What if I just let go? Surrender isn't weakness. It isn't defeat. It's the moment your soul exhales after holding its breath for lifetimes. Imagine standing in a river, fighting the current with all your might, muscles burning, breath ragged, until suddenly you stop, you lean back, and the water carries you. That's surrender. It's not the absence of desire, but the absence of resistance. You've tried everything, haven't you? Manifestation techniques, tarot readings, obsessively decoding their social media like sacred texts. You've bargained with the universe. If I heal this, will they come back? If I love myself enough, will they finally see me? But here's the truth. Your twin flame isn't a prize to be won. They're a mirror, a divine echo showing you where you still cling to lack, where you still believe love must be earned. Surrender feels like the first time you truly see that. It's the collapse of the ego's grand illusion, the belief that if you just do enough, be enough, suffer enough, you can force alignment. But the twin flame journey doesn't obey human timelines. It follows soul time, a rhythm as ancient as your first meeting across the stars. There's a reason surrender often comes after the darkest night of the soul. You've wept, you've raged, you've begged the sky for answers. And then, silence, not the kind that feels empty, but the kind that feels full. Like the universe is holding you in its palms and saying, finally, you're listening. This is when the magic begins. When you stop reaching for your twin flame and start embodying the love you seek. When you realize union was never about them, It was always about you coming home to yourself. It's not just emotional. Surrender moves through you. You might wake up one morning and feel lighter, as if chains you didn't even know you were wearing have dissolved. Your chest might ache, not from longing, but from expansion, like your heart is literally breaking open. Some days you'll feel them so strongly, it's as if they're sitting beside you. Other days, the connection will go quiet, not because it's gone, but because the universe is teaching you to trust the unseen. Here's the secret the mystics know. Surrender is the only way to union. Not because you've given up, but because you've aligned. You've stopped forcing, and in that stillness, the universe can finally weave the threads back together. Your twin flame isn't lost. They're orbiting, pulled by the same gravity that's drawing you inward. So if you're in the thick of it, if every cell in you is screaming, when, how, why, know this, you're exactly where you need to be. The surrender isn't the end, it's the sacred pause before the universe whispers, now. If you've ever stood before your twin flame and felt the universe collapse into their eyes, if you've known in that instant that this was no ordinary love, then you already understand the cruelest paradox of this journey. The more you long for them, the further union seems to drift. And here's why. You've been searching for home in a reflection, when home was always the one holding the mirror. Think of the first time you saw them. That electric recognition, the déjà vu of the soul. It wasn't just about them. It was the universe, dangling the most irresistible lure. Look how love could feel. But here's the plot twist. Your twin flame isn't the destination. They're the compass. The presence cracks you open not so you can get love, but so you can remember it. The love that's been curled inside your ribs all along, waiting for you to stop chasing and start listening. You've been starving at a banquet, begging for crumbs from someone else's table when your own feast was laid out within you. Surrender is when you finally sit down at that table, when you taste your own worth and realize, oh, this is what I've been trying to steal from their touch. There's a moment in this journey when your prayers change. They shift from, when will they choose me, to, let me choose myself so completely that no one's choice could ever shake me again. This isn't resignation, it's revolution. You start catching yourself mid-thought. If I heal my abandonment wounds, will they stop running? I heal because I deserve peace, with or without them. If I become enlightened, will they finally see my value? My value exists like the moon exists, unchanging, whether anyone gazes up or not. This is the alchemy. When love stops being something you extract from another and becomes something you radiate from within. When you grasp the terrifying, exhilarating truth, your twin flame's greatest gift wasn't their presence, it was their absence. Because absence is what made you turn inward and find the love that doesn't leave, doesn't waver, doesn't need to be earned. You'll feel it physically when this shift occurs. A warmth in your chest that has nothing to do with longing and everything to do with fullness. Moments where you're washing dishes or walking down the street, and suddenly, there it is, a quiet joy that doesn't depend on anyone's call, anyone's text, anyone's return. Some call this self-love, but that phrase is too small for what this really is. This is soul recognition. The moment you realize the love between you and your twin flame was never between you at all. It was within you, and they were just the lightning rod that helped you find it. The universe has a wicked sense of humor. It lets you orbit another person like a planet desperate for its sun, only to whisper, "Darling, you're not a planet. You're a whole damn galaxy." So if today your hands are empty, if you're tired of waiting, tired of aching, hear this. Your emptiness is sacred. It's not a sign you've failed. It's the hollow space where your wholeness is being sculpted. Keep filling yourself with the love you've been begging them to give you, not as a strategy to win them back, but as an act of rebellion against every lie that ever told you you were incomplete. Because here's the secret: union was never about two becoming one. It was about one remembering it was never divided. You wake in the middle of the night, heart pounding, not from fear, but from a sudden, inexplicable knowing. Across cities or continents, they're there, not in body, but in essence. A whisper against your skin, a warmth in your chest that has nothing to do with the room's temperature. And in that moment, the cruelest lie of the 3D world shatters. You were never apart. For months, maybe years, you've measured separation like a sentence, counting days since their touch, analyzing silence like a crime scene. But what if the distance was never punishment? What if it was the universe's way of teaching you to see beyond the visible? Imagine two candles burning in a dark room. When you focus only on the flames, they appear separate. But lean closer, breathe, and you'll feel the truth. The same air feeds them both. The same heat dances between. Your twin flame isn't away. They're in the shared atmosphere of your soul. Quantum entanglement proves it. Particles once connected remain linked across any distance. Change one, the other responds. Instantly, faster than light should allow. Science calls this spooky action at a distance. Mystics call it union. Here's the paradox that will set you free. The more you release the need for physical proximity, the more intensely you'll experience true union. Think of a musician who stops clutching their instrument in desperation and instead learns to feel the music through their bones. Suddenly, they're no longer playing notes. They're channeling the song that existed before time. Your twin flame journey is the same. When you stop begging the universe for a body and start communing with the soul, you'll discover their laughter lives in your sunrise. Their wisdom speaks through your intuition. Their embrace exists in the quiet moments when you finally allow yourself to be held by life, by God, by your own awakened heart. Remember that night you broke down when you screamed at the stars, "Why can't I just move on?" That wasn't weakness, beloved. That was your soul rupturing the illusion. Like a baby bird pecking at its shell, your anguish wasn't a sign you were failing. It was proof you were hatching. The separation you cursed was the very thing teaching you to perceive beyond form. And now, when you least expect it, you'll catch yourself. Mid-conversation with a friend, you'll feel their humor coloring your words. In the shower, you'll sense their hands in the water cascading over your shoulders. And one ordinary Tuesday, you'll realize you've been carrying them all along, not as a weight, but as wings. This isn't about waiting for reunion. It's about recognizing it's already happening, just not always in ways the ego demands. Try this tonight. Light a candle, not to call them back, but to honor the flame that burns in both of you. Whisper, I see us beyond space. I feel us beyond time. Then blow it out and sit in the dark. Notice how the scent of smoke lingers. That's your lesson. What's real doesn't disappear just because the light changes form. The veil is thinning, beautiful soul. Not because they're coming back, but because you're finally remembering. You were never truly apart. You've tried everything, haven't you? Visualizing, affirming, scripting your perfect reunion like a sacred text. You've worn out your knees praying, exhausted your mind, analyzing, and still, silence. The more you reach, the further they seem. Until one day, exhausted, you whisper, I give up. And that's when the magic begins. There's a sacred principle woven into the fabric of this journey. What you cling to slips through your fingers like water. What you release returns to you like the tide. Here's the mystery most miss. Non-attachment isn't indifference, it's supreme faith. You've been taught that to want something means to chase it, but the universe operates differently. Flowers don't strain to bloom, they simply follow their nature. The moon doesn't beg the tide to return, it trusts the pull. Your heart doesn't force its beats, it surrenders to the rhythm when you reach that sacred space of I choose my peace over any outcome. Something shifts energetically. You stop emitting desperate frequencies that repel and start radiating the very wholeness that makes union inevitable. Science now confirms what mystics always knew. Observers affect the observed. Your constant focus on absence, it amplifies absence. Your peaceful acceptance of the present, it creates space for new possibilities. The universe responding to your energetic signature. Like tuning forks vibrating at the same frequency, your surrender aligns you with the timeline where reunion exists. Of course, it hurts to release the fantasy. You're not just letting go of a person, you're releasing the identity of the one who waits, the drama of star-crossed longing, the ego's addiction to control masquerading as love. This is spiritual alchemy at its most brutal and beautiful. That hollow ache in your chest, it's not emptiness, it's sacred space being cleared. Like a forest fire that seems destructive until you see the new growth it enables. Here's practical magic for you. How you can surrender without giving up. Exchange when for here. Each time you future trip, plant your feet firmly in the present. Feel the chair beneath you, the air in your lungs. Union lives in the now. Create a surrender ritual. Write every fear, every demand on paper. Burn it. Whisper, I trust your wisdom, universe. Watch how lightness returns. Fall in love with your own life. They're not coming back to complete you. They're returning to celebrate you. Build a world so vibrant their absence becomes irrelevant. The miracle already in motion. That flutter in your stomach as you read this, that's your soul recognizing the truth. By releasing the how and when, you've already begun the reunion. The phone will ring, the door will open, the name will appear on your screen, and when it happens, you'll smile, not with the giddy relief of someone saved from drowning, but with the quiet knowing of a lighthouse keeper who always knew the ship would find its way home. Because here's the secret the universe has been trying to whisper. You were never the beggar at love's door. You are the door, and it's time to swing wide open. You stand at the sacred threshold now, where love stops being something you feel and becomes something you are. This is where the twin flame journey either breaks you open or breaks you down, where you discover that every tear, every sleepless night, every "why won't they choose me" was never about them at all. This is where you learn to love like the sun loves, not because the earth deserves its light, but because shining is its nature. All your life, you've been taught love is transactional. Give this, get that, behave this way, earn affection, heal these wounds, win their return. But the twin flame journey, it burns those contracts to ashes. Imagine holding a rose to your chest so tightly, the thorns draw blood. You think, if I just endure the pain, the flower will know how much I love it. But the rose doesn't need your suffering. It needs space to grow. Your twin flame is that rose and unconditional love. It's the moment you finally open your hands, those thorns and all, and whisper, "Bloom where you must. My love doesn't require your presence to exist." There will come a day, perhaps today, when your mind screams its final argument. This is foolish. How can you love someone who... And for the first time, you won't have an answer. Not because you've given up, but because you've transcended the question. This is the sacred paradox. The love that once shattered you becomes the love that holds your broken pieces together. You'll catch yourself smiling when their favorite song plays, not with the old ache of absence, but with the quiet joy of knowing some harmonies transcend physical form. You'll pass a cafe and smell their cologne, and instead of crumbling, you'll breathe deeper, thankful the universe still delivers these whispers. Unconditional love isn't blind. It sees everything, the running, the silence, the human flaws, and chooses anyway, not as a doormat, but as a sovereign soul who understands. You can miss someone and release them. You can honor a connection and refuse to be diminished by it. You can love a person and love yourself more. This is the initiation few speak of. When your love becomes so vast, it no longer needs to be reciprocated to be real. When you realize the love between you was never a bridge between two separate shores, but the ocean itself, endless, boundless, containing both. Here's the secret that will make you laugh through your tears. The love you've been pouring outward toward your twin flame, it was always yours. Every late night prayer, every desperate "I miss you," every imagined reunion, that wasn't you loving them. That was your soul trying to give you what you thought only they could provide. Now you stand at the miracle. Their absence didn't take love from you. It returned love to you. Not the small, fragile love that needs promises to survive, but the kind that lives in the marrow of your bones, the kind that outlasts lifetimes, the kind that makes separation impossible. You've been waiting for a sign, beautiful soul. This is it. The love you've been seeking has been here all along, not in their eyes, but in your courage to love without guarantees, not in their arms, but in your willingness to hold yourself. The final initiation isn't union with them. It's remembering you were never ununited to begin with. Soon, maybe today, maybe in another turning of the moon, you'll notice something miraculous. The old questions, when will they, why haven't they, will dissolve like morning mist. In their place, a quiet knowing that needs no confirmation. You'll catch yourself humming their favorite song, not from lack, but from the joy of shared memory, smiling at a shared joke no one else understands, and realizing you're smiling at the universe itself, feeling their presence in the spaces between heartbeats. Where words can't reach, this is the dialect of ascended love, not the burning desperation of "come back," but the serene whisper of "wherever you are, we're still us." Become a living sanctuary. Let your morning ritual be placing your own hand over your heart and whispering, "I am home." Watch how the universe rearranges itself around this truth. Love the questions themselves. When old anxieties arise, don't rush to answer them. Ask instead, what if this uncertainty is the exact ingredient my soul ordered? Practice sacred detachment. When you think of them, imagine placing their image on a sunlit altar in your mind, not as possession, but as honored guest. This is how love breathes when it's free. One ordinary morning, perhaps this one, you'll wake to a quiet epiphany. The love you've been seeking has always lived in the way your hands know how to heal your own wounds, in the way your laughter bubbles up unbidden, in the way you've survived every storm and still choose hope. The final secret: you are both the dove and the olive branch, the love letter and the hand that writes it, the miracle and the space where miracles are born. So take this knowing with you, not as conclusion, but as compass. The most sacred reunion was never out there in some imagined future. It's happening now, in every cell that remembers its divinity, every breath that chooses presence over projection, every moment you stop waiting for love and realize you've become it.